Hello and welcome to Bitsbox World, builds made easy. So I'm always looking to get my building materials and my miniatures as cheaply as I can, and I've used various things like eBay and Amazon, but Temu, I've seen this a couple of times and I thought, I wonder if it's any good. So I decided to spend £40 on 10 items on Temu and get 4 miniatures in that as well, which we will look at later. But firstly, I thought I needed to get a replacement cutting mat for my workstation. It was looking a bit tired, covered in paint, and I saw this come up at £1.87. £1.87. Is it going to be any good? So let's just look at the profile of this then. So if you get it on a lightning deal right now at the time of this video, it'll be £1.20. I bought mine for £1.87. And they're recommending retail price at £11.99. It comes in a variety of different colours, and I went for the purple one. And here it is. It's come through. So let's give this a bit of a check out. Comes in a nice package there, just to keep it clean and tidy. And it looks pretty good, just as a cutting mat, but what I did notice was it's really thin, in fact. And when you compare this to what I use already, you can see this. So I just lift up my cutting mat that I use, the one that was looking a bit tired, but I've had this for a long time and it hasn't split, hasn't frayed. But it's about 3 times the thickness of the one that I got for £1.87. I can't remember how much my cutting mat was before, but I think it was about £10. So you could buy 3 of these £1.87 mats and stack them, I guess. Let's see how it does against a Stanley knife, though. So if I was cutting against it, I do a lot of wood cutting and things like that. Just a very light score across it, and you are marking through, and I think it would go through relatively easily if you were putting a bit of pressure onto that. And then cutting at the edge as well, I just tried to make a cut through, and fair play, it didn't go through, it didn't break, it absorbed the slice, but it's definitely marking the cutting mat, and I think it won't last with lots of regular use. But at £1.87 you could probably replace this pretty quickly. Would I buy this again though? Probably not. I would spend a little bit more to get a decent cutting mat. So next up, I saw a pack of 15 brushes for 82p. They are marketed as fine detail, and I struggle when I'm painting my miniatures to do things like eyes and stuff like that. So I thought, you know what, let's get some fine detail brushes and see what they're like. And at 82p, I wasn't expecting much, but to buy them at the time of recording, it was £2.39, or recommended retail price £16.29. And here they are. I went for black. They came in 3 colours, pink, white or black, and come in their own parcel here. We crack that one open and just have a look at these brushes. When I took a punt on these, I just thought, if they turn out to be really rubbish, then I can just use them when I'm painting up my sort of scenery builds and things like that. They could just become spare brushes. It did have this interesting tool, which I think I could use. Let me know in the comments below if you know what it's for. And the description for these brushes said that they were suitable brushes with acrylic paint for doing nail art, modelling, model painting even, or watercolours. So I went for a punt on them, and what do I think? I don't think they're worth 16 quid, if I'm honest. And the description said that they were for precise and intricate work, and I don't know. I don't think they're going to be any good for what I want to do. I will try them and I will show you. Maybe I'll be able to paint some decent eyes on some of my models. But there we go, 15 brushes for 82 pence. Can't be that bad, even if you're just going to use them on model builds and not doing what they're designed supposedly to do. They've got lots and lots of different brush tips. Some are very, very thin. Some are like this one here, a bit of a wedge. But there we go. Next up was some of my building materials, and I saw this for £1.28, so £1.48 on the day, or £4.79 recommended retail price. And it's fake moss, artificial moss, and used for wedding or outdoor photography, supposedly by the description. And I thought this could be really useful for making trees, my own made trees. I could use that on some sort of sticks. It comes in two colours, forest green or light green, and I went for the forest green. And I was quite happy with the amount that you got. It's quite a sizable package for £1.28. And it reminds me a little bit of like clump foliage, but it's quite stringy. So when you really pull it out, you can see all of the string pieces that are holding it together. But when it's close together, it does look quite mossy or quite leafy. So that could be really good for making some trees. I tried to tear it, it wouldn't tear, so you'd have to cut it with a knife or some scissors. But I quite like this so far, worth it. Next up, these. So I saw these. These are little bricks, and you know I like to make walls if you are a regular on my channel. And for £3.98 for 50 bricks, I thought I'd give it a go. £29.67 was the recommended retail price for 50 bricks. Definitely not worth it. And I think £3.98 probably not worth it either. I did trick myself with this, thinking, look at the walls and the buildings they got in the picture. I'm going to be able to make that. But 50 bricks, when you get it, is not much at all. I mean, they are quite good quality. They're fairly heavy as well. And I think you could make sort of a wall with them or some rubble. And they're well made, but I still think that £3.98 is overpriced for what you get. I'll use them though. I'll definitely use them in a build that I make, and probably something for the old world or something like that they could be used for. I like the grey ones. You can get them in sort of orange brick as well, but quite expensive. Now, I really do like static grass. I buy a lot of static grass, and at £3.48 for 6 parcels at 60 grams, 6 colours as well, I thought, why not? £3.07 at the time of filming. Recommended retail price was £25.92. That's probably over what you should pay for this amount of static grass. It looks quite decent in the pictures, and it came together in this one package. 60 gram parcels for each colour. You get 6 colours, and I use a lot of static grass. So whether this is any good or not, it's still probably going to be used. I will use it. I'll clump it into something else or mix it together to really make it a usable state. This is 3mm as well, supposedly. So let's open this up and have a look. And what I'm really judging the grass on, I like my grass to look semi-realistic when I'm doing my builds. I don't want it to be overly shiny. I know that there are some shiny grasses out there, and you can kind of get away with it. So this is the first one, meant to be 3mm. in length. This one's sort of a darker green than I would usually use. I do quite like it, but it is quite shiny. And not that I've measured it, it doesn't quite look 3mm. I think it's probably more like 2mm. So I could use that, mix that in maybe with some of my other colours, or use it across sort of a grass field effect. This is the colour here that I tend to go towards when I'm basing my models or making my builds. I like it because it's got multiple different colours in it. You can see yellows and greens and even bits of orange, and I feel like this is more natural in so much as there's a break up in the quality and the difference of each of the grasses. That one again doesn't quite seem to be 3mm. It feels and looks like static grass though, as did the first one. And then I had two other colours of green as well. So this one is quite shiny. This one also coming up quite shiny. And then you get a brown colour. This sort of looks like an old sofa that I used to have. Quite clumpy, and don't really know how to use it. Maybe for some dying grass of sorts. And then you also get white as well. I've not had white static grass before, but I want to do sort of a snow or ice effect in the future, so I thought, why not? It comes obviously with the 6, but when looking at this, it's so clumpy, it's hard to break it up and just separate that. Getting this then for £3.48. I do think it's worth it if you're just doing like basing on your models and things like that. And then at that price, maybe doubling up and getting another set if it's still cheap. Now, the next thing I saw was these 3-pack miniature artificial craft grass. So when I saw these, I thought I could use some of these on my boards. So at £1.48 for 3, not bad. £3.28 on the day, or £27 as the recommended retail price. I wouldn't spend £27 on 3 15cm by 15cm grass squares. Wouldn't spend that, but £1.48 I was happy to spend, and they came, and they look fairly decent. Now, I would need 35 of these to cover a standard 1000 point old world battle board, which I think they're about 30 inches by 44 inches. So you'd need 12 packs of these at £1.48 if you could get them at that deal. And that would cost you 18 quid to cover that. I don't think that's actually that bad. But you have to make sure that they're on a lightning deal with Temu. Now, let's get into the bits that you're really interested in. I got 4 miniatures. This one, female orc, for £9.67. Still £9.67 on the day. Recommended retail price of £24.79 for one model. That's quite steep. But £9, I think £9 is quite high as well for one model. We'll have a look at the quality just in a minute. And then I also bought a Orc Warrior Monster Barbarian. £6.64 for that one. Both of them were lightning deals on the day. £7.59 on the day that I looked at this, or £21.09 recommended retail price. And I don't think I would spend that much on a singular model of this quality. I mean, they do look good, but they're not, we're not talking about an awesome beast or something like that. It's just a singular miniature sort of little warrior model. The other one as well, I saw this Angel Fighter Human, and I thought that looked really awesome. £4.64 with the deal, £9.21 on the day that I was looking, £34.49p if you were to buy this full price recommended retail price. I would not recommend that at all. Wait for a deal if you're going to go for it. And then I like dragons. £8.74 for this miniature. £12.48 on the day that I was filming this, or £27.99 recommended retail. Crazy money, crazy money. This guy, he's got to be massive if you're going to spend that amount of money. But we'll have a look at them and see what they look like. So I got 4 miniatures, 2 of them because I've just purchased the Orcs and Goblin Tribes box set for the old world, and you don't get a couple of champions with it. You get some really decent units, but I thought I need some guys to lead the way, and whilst I was looking at Temu, why not? Let's give it a go. And if I don't end up putting them in the Orcs and Goblins tribe, then I use them for something like Warhammer Quest or D&D, as indicated on the box that comes through. So it's quite well packaged for the singular model. You get this really nice foam inlay and this sort of paper straw, I guess. Looks like a hamster's, and your model comes nice and secure inside. So let's have a look at the quality of this. Comes on its own base. This has obviously been, I would say, 3D printed. And the quality is actually really quite good. Sometimes when you get a 3D printed model, it can feel a bit suspect. So the resin can be a bit brittle and feel like it's going to break relatively easily. But this one doesn't. And I just had a Terminator lying around, so I just wanted to show you the size comparison next to a Terminator, obviously from different worlds, but there we go. And the reason I went for a female orc, I know there's been a lot of discussion about that sort of thing in the Warhammer world, but I wanted to go for a female orc because my daughter is going to be playing Orcs and Goblins Tribes. And she said, do the orcs have women? And I said, yes, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. So there we go. She's going to be leading the charge with her orc brethren. I quite liked how it was packaged. Really quite decent. Good way to keep it secure. So this is the other orc. Came in exactly the same box and packaged in the same way. But this guy, he didn't come on a base. He just came freestanding. Well, I am going to put these on square bases anyway, because they're going to be used for the old worlds. And then if I don't use them for the old world, they'd just be on square bases. But he looks really decent. I think the detail on this one is really quite good. Obviously, what you're getting when you buy models like this, 3D printed models, they come in a one pose variant. So you wouldn't really, unless you wanted to go to a classic sort of Games Workshop style army, you wouldn't really buy the same model over and over because you end up with everybody just in the same pose, which was how it was when I started playing Warhammer back in the day, when I was a 10-year-old lad. Everybody just had the same pose. And what I would say is the orc, he's coming up, I would say, at, what would you call it, a hero scale. And then obviously the woman is a bit more slender. And I think they would look really, really nice, actually, at the forefront of the Orcs and Goblin Tribe battle force. Just make sure there is no base in there, but it didn't come with a base, so I'll have to give it a base. Even though I think the picture, when I was looking at this, showed that it was standing on a base. Nothing in there either. So, slightly disappointing, but we can live with that. That's okay. And then I'm really excited for this one. I don't know how or where I'm going to use it, but it was just such an awesome looking model that I was drawn in, and I thought, you know what, let's get it, let's have a look at it. This is the human angel. So nothing in there. There it is. Bit of loose straw over it. But let's get this guy out and just have a look at it. So he fully fills the indentation there, the travel foam. And wow. Look at that. Not brittle. Feels really quite secure. And the detail on the wings is just awesome. I thought I might be able to use this as sort of a statue or something like that on top of a column in one of my builds, but I'm changing my mind now that I see it in real life. I think this guy has to be painted up in all his glory as best as I can. I've said before, I'm not a great miniature painter, but I would give this guy a go and make him look awesome. Really like that one. That's my favourite so far. One more to go then. And I really like mythical beasts. I really like big monsters and stuff that just looks really awesome and epic. And this one just fits into that category. The box came a bit crumpled, so I'm a little bit worried about this one because it's sort of, the box is torn and ripped. Hopefully the miniature's there, because that would suck if it's gone. So let's hope. Packaged in the same way. Is it going to be enough to keep whatever's in there safe? Well, at least it's there. And as you can see, it's the dragon that I ordered, and looks really good. Looks really good so far. Well protected, lots of spines on the back, and for a resin model that can be quite problematic sometimes because they can snap. And I've had models come before that have just been broken, so just having a look under the foam there's no broken bits in there. But this guy is sort of a rock dragon, I'd say, and looks really nice. That's some really good detail on there, and really quite happy with that. Let me know in the comments below which model you liked the most, or maybe you didn't like any of them. But I do think finding these models, it was quite fun to find some models that I might be able to use, and I would only buy them though at a deal price, definitely not recommended retail price. And the thing about Temu is it messages you relentlessly saying here's an offer, and it can really draw you in. So let's have a look and a review. The mat that I first bought, probably wouldn't buy that again. The paintbrushes also, don't think I would buy those again, even though they were 82 pence. I don't think it's worth it. And the static grass was half decent. I think if I'm just basing my models, it was worth it at the time. So probably would think about buying that again. The bricks, even though the bricks are decent quality, they're quite expensive for 50 little bricks. And this was one that I really like for my modelling, for my builds. That moss I think I could really use, and also the grass matting as well. Now these models, I really did quite like each and every one of them, and I think that they can really fit in to my plans with some of the builds that I'll be doing. So look out for these guys in future videos. But they look really quite good. The detail and the quality is really awesome, and they could be possibly a statement figure with what I use them for in the future. So I hope you enjoyed my little review of some bits and bobs I got off Temu. Spent £42, so you didn't have to, and we could check the quality together. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Think about subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching Bits Bots World, builds made easy.